Namaste, angels. This is the weekly general reading for the period of tomorrow, Sunday, April 12th, through Saturday to come, April 18th. Blessed Holy Saturday or Passover Saturday to those of you who are celebrating or recognizing, honoring those days. And happy Easter for those of you on other continents, perhaps, where it is already Easter Sunday, other time zones. Welcome and thank you for joining me. Pretty interesting stuff to talk about today, from what I feel already. So eager to get right in. Let's go ahead and start with the dice. I hadn't put them here, so we'll see what we're starting with first. We are beginning with yes. I'll just show you so everybody else can see. Yes. Sex. And 29, which is all about spiritual partnership. So already we're getting messages perhaps about love. And now I will shake them up. Spirit says, spend money. Try again. And this could be something that you feel that you didn't succeed at. And you should try again, not give up yet. I'm also going to try again. And the last one is dirty movie. Since sex also came up, this could be phone sex, video sex, talking about sex and each other pictures. Maybe they were risque pictures, other types of communication via online, online contact is what this normally means for me. Skype and WhatsApp and maybe Zoom these days or WebEx and FaceTime and all that sorts of thing. And we'll try again. And Spirit says, forget it. So you tried twice and things still didn't turn out as expected or how they should or whatever the case was, how you wished perhaps, then just forget it. Like release it, don't hold on to it. With the cards, we are going to begin today with an overall energy from my Keepers of the Light Oracle of Commander Ashtar. Call to action. I think this is so important, this call to action. And I hope you guys are listening to and for the call. Take charge, lead by example, walk your talk. So it also talks about this card saying what you mean, meaning what you say, and paying attention, listening to your internal messages, intuitive thoughts and feelings and psychic awareness. Pay very close attention to it these days. Synchronicities, signs that are going to be all around you. And also to other people in conversation, right? Not just hearing like blah, 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 or like the Peanuts, how the teacher used to talk womp womp, not just like really listening to other perspectives or other person's perspective, however it works, and then, discerning what should happen next, right? What your response should be, if any, and all that kind of stuff. With the Rider-Waite deck. Oh, nice. Look at that. The Six of Swords. So Six of Swords is about a reduction in our stress level, right? Things have been maybe not so great in the recent past, or they've been stressful, they've been tiring, they've been difficult, whatever. It can be all those things. And the Six of Swords shows up to say that things are definitely going to get better than they have been. And it might not be like tomorrow, like it can take some time even with this card, but you can see it's positive movement forward. We're not going backward. So we're not revisiting. The worst is behind us, right? That's water under the bridge. Think about the water that's here in this card. It can also be about now is a good time for you to get back above water, like keeping your head above water. Somebody in my house was watching Good Times earlier, so that song just popped in my head. Keeping your head above water, making a way when you can. Temporary layoffs. People could be going through that right now. Okay, so and maybe you recently had. Things are going to get better, so your unemployment claim will be honored, and maybe you'll get a new job right away. Maybe it'll be something from home, or that stimulus check will come in, or perhaps you would do a tax refund, and that's going to come. Something is going to get better. And this card can also be about the need for a break, at least a short one. It's a card of vacation and stuff, but it can be about, just a break. And, maybe that's the case, that some of us need to get outside. Maybe we've, really, really been adhering to the CDC recommendations and we haven't left the house but we could probably use some air, some of us, you know, as long as you're protecting yourself. Same thing like sex. Sex popped up in the dice, you know, safe sex, safe, just living in general these days. We have to use, you know, whatever types of protection we deem as adults appropriate for ourselves and necessary, hopefully, you know, within the CDC, again, recommended guidelines. And so that you're being safe, but you are getting some air if you need to. So even if it just means you go in front of your house and you go in your backyard or however your, you know, your living style is. Like I live in an apartment building, so I got to physically go downstairs and go outside, you know. But like whatever the case is for you, it's a good time to be doing that. And it doesn't have to, this break doesn't have to be something that is expensive or that costs money at all, right? Like I said, it could just be going downstairs. However, this card, again, is a card of vacation. And maybe I'm not, maybe somebody is still going on vacation or going to a warmer climate. Maybe you're returning home. Maybe you've been stuck somewhere else for all this time and now you're returning home. And so here we have Major Arcana card, the Sun, which represents the planet Jupiter and the sign of Sagittarius, which it rules, although Earth's star, the Sun, rules the sign of Leo. So this card, like really most of the major arcana cards, they attribute to one sign, and I often say that they cover like the entire element. So like all the fire signs, for example, this would apply to. But maybe again, more importantly, sitting here right behind the Six of Swords, this could be somebody literally going someplace warmer toward the sun. It can just be about, again, things getting brighter, things getting better for us, right? Our days being brightened. In terms of your head above water, because I just got that again. When people dream about drowning, for example, it tends to mean like in their subconscious minds, they're thinking about drowning in debt or something. And so maybe, again, things are going to get better. There's going to be an opportunity for you to pay your bills, perhaps again with your tax refund or the stimulus check or something, again, a job, or maybe you're expecting to be laid off and you don't get laid off, or you're not expecting your whole check at work when they tell you to work from home and you get your whole check, something like that, where things are improving for you and being better. And I just got something else. Okay. Also right behind it is the Fool upright. So Major Arcana card, the Fool, is a card that's all about a brand new path. Like we never walked this path before. This is a totally new beginning. And I'm kind of jumping ahead, but I have been seeing a lot of stuff tied into the prophecies. I mean, some of you have watched me for a long time and you know that I far more before than now used to talk about prophecies and give you my own, like things that I had seen and stuff like that. And so one thing that's been coming up for me, pardon my phone, I don't know what the ding is. Maybe we'll associate it to something, because anything that pops up during a reading tends to be part of the reading. So maybe the ding is significant, or the angels are happy about what I'm about to say, you know, what I'm about to touch on. So you guys, some of you used to watch me, and you know that I again, not only shared with you some of the prophecies about these times of which I was aware, and about the kind of beings that many of us are, beginning with myself. I told you I am a this, and this is the, you know, what's associated with that, right? I also, again, had some visions and things of my own that I shared with you. One of which was going to be that this time, right? I said 2020, and we already covered this on my Facebook page, because many of you remembered, and you said, "Yep," you said 2020. Okay, so anyway, I said around this time, like new Earth was going to be created, and I said, you know, people were going to die. And I said that it is one of the prophecies that 2/3 of the Earth's inhabitants, period, are supposed to go. And I had also told you that the way my crazy mind works, right away, as soon as I saw that, I was also shown that there are 7.4 billion people in the world. So if you take only 1/3 of those, that equals 2.442. And then Matthew 24:42 is all about God coming, right? Like a thief in the night, and, you know, showing up. No one knows the hour. Not even the Son, right? No one but the Father, not even the Son, but it's coming. So that's one thing. And then, you know, I went on to talk about how, yes, it says that, but not everybody is going to die. And certainly I didn't feel that anybody who was listening to me, who considered themselves at that time a twin flame, or especially certainly not an Illumined one, or a member of the elect who was on this particular mission, should be expected to die, because that didn't make sense. And that's not what I saw. And so I went on to share with you guys how even in the Bible, again, it's more Matthew 16:28 says, truly I tell you, some of you who are standing here will not taste death. Okay, that means will not die. Well, it goes on to say, will not taste death before they see the Son of Man coming to his kingdom. So the Son of Man coming to his kingdom was this new earth in my mind. Like, it wasn't about people dying and going to heaven. It was going to be here. I know people read the book of Revelations and they think it means total destruction. Everybody's going to die. And that was never the way that I saw it, and never the way that I preached it. In fact, I told you, don't only look at the book of Revelations, because it's not about Christianity and only the Bible. There's so many things that are involved in this, and God promises to reach all four corners of the earth, and he does. You know, so the Indians have the rainbow prophecies, and I won't go into all of that. I could, but I won't. I won't because I'll forget my point. All right, so we talked about not everybody dying, and I also talked about in when the Bible speaks of the resurrection, that it very clearly says that not only Jesus was raised from the dead. I don't know why it was pushed this way when the information is right there. They forgot to take that part out. It says Jesus and other saints. That's the way it's written in the Bible. Other saints. It means other people supposedly also rose from the dead. It was not unique to him. We can consider him, and many of us do, to be of increased divinity, of a higher vibration, of a greater dimensional reality, and able to do a lot more than anybody else that was around and maybe ever has since and never had prior. But in terms of that one piece that we sort of assigned only to him, it wasn't only to him, and it says that very plainly in the Bible. Other people rose from the dead as well. And so that's why right now, this time of resurrection, I've been getting, I think that the COVID-19 and what's going on around the world is intertwined with Passover. Those of us who remained in our houses and did all these things to the extent that we could. And I think even, I don't want to make anybody who's an essential worker think that I'm not talking about them, because I'm including you guys too. Anybody who did as they were guided to do and expected to do, and again, took these precautions, I feel like we're to believe that this condition will pass over us. Now, some people, even who are good, of course, good people, were unable to do that for whatever reason. But in any case, I just feel, I say all this to say that I felt it was tied into Passover. I also feel it's tied into Easter and the resurrection, and that this is like the resurrection. Earth is going through one herself. The planet is going through a resurrection. So that's how we're getting the new Earth. It's not like this event, which at the time I definitely thought it could have been. I wasn't sure exactly how it was going to happen, how everything was going to get renewed, yet and people were going to die, yet some of us were going to survive. I couldn't, I saw all that, but I couldn't put it together, and I didn't need to put it together, right? It's going to happen the way it happens. But the resurrection and this time period, which was also the time of Exodus, and we can, in terms of the Passover and all these things. So that's the elect and the Illumined, sort of moving on to their new place. That's the way it's recorded in the Bible with the Exodus. And for us, I think this is this time now. And so this moving forward, maybe toward the sun toward paradise, maybe with the sun, or during the time of the sun, during the time of the resurrection, the sun, the S-O-N, perhaps, toward this new beginning, new life, new start. All over the world, the earth is being renewed. I posted this week 70,000 endangered turtles laid eggs, like for the first time that they were able to in a while, on a beach, because the beach was empty. That the air is so clear in India now that the Himalayas are visible from there. A shipwreck in Lake Michigan. Lake Michigan is so clear, blue tropical waters, that from above, a shipwreck was seen at the bottom of the ocean. My friend, I posted a picture the other day, a more personal one. My friend on the Upper West Side had a red-tailed hawk sitting in her window, just looking, not afraid, just they stared each other down. She took a beautiful picture. But all of these sorts of things. And of course, simultaneous to this, the plague of locusts in Africa and all of this. I started talking about videos that I had done in the past. So I had done a few of my neighborhood, because I live in Manhattan. And I had suggested to you, let's just say that the man that the book of Revelations 13, is it 7 through 18, I think, is where it talks about the number of the man. In any case, the last line, or where it mentions that, where it mentions the man, that's definitely Revelations 13:18. And it says, here is wisdom. Let him that has understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. And so 600, of course, is the first six. 60, just like 80 and 7 years ago, the Gettysburg Address, a score is 20 years. So I don't know why I mentioned that, but that's another 6. 80 is 80 plus 7 years is 87 equals 6. Okay, maybe that's why, but I don't know what it has to do with this right now. You guys can help me. Put it in the comments if you figure out the connection to the Gettysburg Address. Anyway, getting back to this one. So the 600, the 60, so 3 times 20 equals 60. That's the second 6, and then the last 6. That's the 666. And I suggested at the time, based on something I had seen, what if it's not a man? What if it's man, as in Manhattan, the abbreviation for Manhattan? And I'm feeling this more and more so lately. New York is the 11th state in the Union. So there's an 11 that all of us, consider who are divine beings, twin flames, right? We're all obsessed with the 11. New York was the 11th state in the Union. Formerly the home of the Twin Towers, formed in 11. I live right down the block from this stuff, by the way. Those Twin Towers replaced by the Freedom Tower. We've entered this period of freedom and the sign of Aquarius. Mars entered Aquarius last week. We are numerically, or in terms of the actual dating, in my opinion, we're several years off from the age of Aquarius, but at the same time, who's to say that that the math was ever that was suggested that we're supposed to go by was ever even correct? So, but I definitely feel that we're approaching it if we haven't entered yet. So Aquarius is the sign of freedom and humanitarianism. And so I think that's why a lot of us, more and more so, some of us started a long time ago, but more and more so, people are being awakened to more compassion and trying to, in service to humanity and all these things. And I think that the reason that the state of New York has the greatest number of COVID-19 cases and deaths, making America the country that has the greatest COVID-19 cases and deaths in the world. I think the reason that New York, speaking of all this COVID, okay, so that is that all that noise you hear outside now through my soundproof windows since 9/11 is the applause for the healthcare providers. Every day at 7 o'clock, they are celebrated and recognized. People stop what they're doing and clap and scream, and as you can hear, if there's a police car or a fire truck or something going by, they will sound their sirens, as you can hear. You probably can't hear the people clapping and stuff. But on that note, the reason, if you can still hear me, that I feel that New York is the epicenter. I didn't realize what time. I apologize for this. I mean, I'm glad you got to hear it, but at the same time, I apologize. I didn't pay attention to what time I was starting this reading. I think New York is the epicenter because New York is also where the financial system is being taken down. All right. So that's one of the things that the universe, God, is destroying. Will it be rebuilt? I imagine some sort of system will be rebuilt. Maybe the one we already had will get a fresh start. And maybe something completely different will come in. Maybe people will start using more cryptocurrency, although it lacks the insurance and protection. It's very easily hacked by comparison to real money that's in the bank, but maybe something will be done, right? We'll have to move to that, or we'll move into something else. These are all things that I talked about years ago that I said, like, you know, I barter and all this I had envisioned. But the stock market started there with my ancestors and, you know, some of yours. The Africans were the first stock on the market to be sold. And so I think that's another reason why it's focused. There's a focus on New York because that has to be stripped down and we have to start again fresh. Also, speaking of the 666, getting back to that, and one of the connections that I had made to Manhattan, man is an abbreviation for Manhattan, first of all. But Peter Minuet is said to have purchased Manhattan from the natives for $24. That equals 6. In a letter by the Dutch merchant to the Dutch East India Company, it was stated that Manhattan was purchased for 60 guilders. That's another 6. I did not know what a guilder was, so I looked it up at the time, 5 years ago, and refreshed myself again recently, and found that 60 guilders then is $1,050 today. 6. There's your 3 6s. Now, anything that I just said, I realized I went on a whole tangent. Anything I just said was of my own, not only volition, but my own visions. I didn't get it from no book. I didn't hear anybody else say it. I didn't watch somebody else's video. That is Queen of Swords, which is coincidentally the next card. The Queen of Swords upright. So those are my words. Those are my visions. And so I didn't take them from anybody else. I didn't plagiarize anything. There's no libel. And likewise, if you hear it somebody else, somewhere else, then you know that whoever is talking about it needs to give me my credit. Queen of Swords represents the signs of Aquarius, which I mentioned, as well as that of Gemini and Libra. So this might be that final piece that I needed in talking about the age of Aquarius. Queen of Swords most directly represents the sign of Aquarius because in general in the tarot, the queen of any given pseudo element represents most directly the fixed sign of said element. So the fixed sign of the element of swords or air is Aquarius. And very funny, Now they just got me, they're making me giggle. The next card is the Tower in reverse. So it's like the Queen of Swords and everybody else having moved into this, right? Toppling this tower. The end of conflict and disaster, right? And make way for another queen. Right? How do we do it? With love. Here's the Queen of Cups upright, represents the sign of Scorpio most directly, but also Pisces and Cancer. Love and also maybe that warrior spirit, that fire that was burning in us. The Queen of Wands, super independent and a real leader. She's a Leo, or perhaps a Sagittarius or an Aries, someone likened to those traits or attributes. And lastly, the last upright card is the Page of Cups. So we've moved into these offers of love. And so that's, of course, on a grand scale. And the cards working well with me, being very kind to me. But again, these things can also be more personal to you in terms of love and emotion being offered to you or from you. Maybe between a water sign and a fire sign. Somebody helping you get past struggle, difficulty, move beyond it. Maybe an air sign. Giving way for a new beginning, brand new path you never walked before. Brightly lit, clarity, you feel good. And you continue moving on toward positive things. The next card is listen. So I talked a lot about this, right? The needing with the Commander Ashtar, the importance of listening and like really hearing and being open to other perspectives, but also from you saying what you mean and meaning what you say too, and commanding like a presence, requiring people to listen to you as well. Very coincidentally, immediately behind that, although upside down, is open your heart to love and Jesus. Maybe he's upside down because he hasn't risen yet, right? He rises tomorrow. The next card is the retreat into nature and green man. This is all about abundance. So could definitely be tied into the rebirth of the planet Earth, right? Of Gaia and the mother, right? All this abundance and greenery and fresh life. Behind that, upright, peace offering, white buffalo calf woman. Which when I see this card, when I pull this card, again, those of you who've been watching me for some time, you know there's always death associated with this card. Could definitely be from a larger scale, like what's going on in the world. It wasn't the next card, so not necessarily close to us. And the next card is Twin Flame. I mean, I could just keep doing this because it, definitely goes with what all I'm saying. But I will move on to the last card with which we're beginning. And it is Major Arcana card 14, Balance or Temperance. The need for balance and moderation, cooperation and compromise, wait for perfect timing. So this is working out difficulties. Maybe we had some very stark differences with another person before, another party, and, we're able to work those out. This is also a card for me that I say it's my card of healing and holding. It's when we feel like we are made whole again. We recover. Something was lost or we felt lack. We cover that. Any of the holes and gaps we've been feeling in our life, all those get filled in. And, we are healed. It's another card that means that things are going generally well for us right now. But again, it can be about lack and just lacking balance and things like that. So there may be a need to, look within at any personal issues or relationships and see if anything like that has been like standing in your way in terms of your growth toward abundance. And if you do come up with anything, then you need to figure out or that allows you an opportunity to figure out, especially with the sun giving you greater clarity, how can I work through these things, right? And or integrate them maybe into my life and make everything work, through compromise or something. The idea is that, you're becoming aware that balance is necessary either within one's own inner masculine and feminine, or within our relationships, or some sort of, plan, goal, dream that we have. Behind Temperance is yet another Queen of Water or Cups. She is tenderhearted, empathetic, patient, and loving. Relationships develop to a new level. Trust your intuition, care for yourself and others. So again, on a more personal scale, that Page of Cups could be some sort of offer of love that's coming directly to you. The Queen of Cups could be representative of, again, your need to listen to your intuition. It's a sign that your intuition is heightened right now. Your awareness is heightened. There are going to be a lot of signs and synchronicities and things about you, and you should pay attention. You should definitely listen to your gut, especially if it comes between, you trusting yourself versus someone else, perhaps. You listen to what your soul and everything is telling you. That's your guidance. There's nothing on the Christian or Hebrew or Islamic calendars that I'm going to talk about. Again, tomorrow is the Easter Sunday. I think everybody understands what that is. It's the Feast of the Resurrection, the day that it is said that Christ returned after having been murdered on Good Friday. We continue every day throughout midweek next week with octaves of Easter. There are 8 days of Easter. Same thing goes with Passover. It wasn't just Thursday. It was like today is still like Passover Saturday, and we'll continue into next week. And now we begin with the 10 of Spring. You're working far too hard, and the stress will soon become too much. Reach out for help from others and take some time to play and to enjoy life. Oh, you know what I meant to do too? Well, maybe I used too much time with my rant, so I won't. Crowning the masculine today is the Two of Earth. Too much going on at once. There's a need to make a decision. Consider a more playful approach. This too is about balance, and maybe specifically in our relationship. Somebody too focused on money and or work, and maybe needs to get refocused on their relationship if they have one, or well, that would be romantic. Their relationships, maybe in general, getting like their family, their friends, their relationship with themselves. If they're like out of touch with themselves, that's possible too. If somebody is single and interested in not being single, maybe they too are too focused on work and or money and how they're going to pay their bills and all that kind of stuff to actually be available to anyone. Surrounding the masculine. The Five of Water or Cups, things not turning out the way you'd hoped, not seeing the positive in a situation and crying over spilled milk. This is like a oh, woe is me kind of card where you missed the fact that you probably could have been saved from something. Just like, for example, let's say you plan to go out in 5 minutes. In 5 minutes instead, there's an accident right in front of your house. A car, smashes into stuff. You were late because you had to go to the bathroom first. So it might be like, oh man, now I'm too late to go. But at the same time, you avoided the accident where you could have been, hurt or something. It's like that sort of thing. Like not seeing there's a bright side in this. There's a blessing in this that I was protected of. Also, it reminds us that we have like everything we need. You see this person, they have 2 cups standing upright, but they're worried about the 3 that are spilled. That's not, that's far less important. And here is another indication of the focus on things like money and or the material or feeling stuck or being in fear. And that is Major Arcana card 15, Ego, or the Devil in the traditional tarot. Represents the sign of Capricorn. A false sense of entrapment, being overly focused on material things, like I already mentioned, and negative or fear-based thoughts. Crowning the feminine. Very nice. It is another Sun. Major Arcana card 19, the Sun, which, as I mentioned, represents the sign of Sagittarius most directly. Happy outcome. Brilliant new ideas that lead to success if you have confidence in yourself, like the Queen of Wands that we saw. Surrounding the feminine, it is the Queen of Air, Queen of Swords, just like a moment ago. She is independent, experienced, realistic, and witty. Objective decision-making, clearing away all that no longer serves you and seeing the humor in a situation. Like how I just laughed at myself when all the sirens were speaking over me. Feminine subconscious, the 10 of Air, very nice. The end of a difficult situation. Embrace the change and expect things to get better now. So we should be looking forward to clarity, to brighter days. Somebody may even be recovering from an addiction. That's possible too. Crowning, the Knight of Air. He's intelligent, decisive, idealistic, and tireless, and a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, just like the Queen, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. Events that occur with great speed. Take time to carefully review your options so you can come up with creative solutions. Knight of Air or Swords for me tends to mean that there's a decision that has to be made or that we're awaiting a decision. At the root, foundation, the Page of Fire, Page of Wands, more Sagittarius energy, outgoing, creative, confident, mischievous, also possibly a Leo or an Aries or someone likened to those traits or attributes. If it's an actual person in your life, maybe a younger one with being the Page, more youthful, or somebody very young looking or something, or, you know, like with that sort of forever young spirit about them. News of an exciting new endeavor. This could be your new start, right? Why the Fool showed up, the new beginning. Use your originality and ingenuity. And at the heart of the matter, Major Arcana card 2, the High Priestess, which represents the sign of Gemini, most directly, or perhaps a water sign. This is a time to pause and to reflect, not to take action. Trust in your spiritual gifts as nothing is hidden from your divine intuition. The High Priestess is all about what I was talking about a moment ago, increased intuition, the need to follow your gut, especially if you're unsure about what somebody else has to say. Not to walk around distrustful and paranoid. That would be devil energy. Don't do that. But if you're aware of other people and you're not sure who you can trust or what you can trust, the answer to that is you can trust yourself. You can trust your gut, right? Your instincts. And that's what the High Priestess does. That's what she uses to make her decisions. Knight of Swords is about making a decision, or a decision that you have to make, or you're waiting, or both. She uses her wisdom, her intellect, her psychic awareness, her abilities, her intuition, everything that she has available to her, and then she decides. And then maybe when she decides, she's not going to tell nobody, right? She's going to keep it to herself until she follows through with her plan and everything comes to pass, because she's not going to let you ruin what she has going on. We're going to further clarify all these cards, though, to get a deeper meaning, hopefully. So again, crowning the masculine's column, or clarifying the 2 of Earth, 2 of Pentacles, is Major Arcana card 6, the Lovers. I didn't realize all these 6s that had been coming out too. So we started before with the 6 of Swords. Okay, we have the Lovers. I feel like I saw another 6 too. Maybe not. Major Arcana card, the Lovers, also represents the sign of Gemini most directly. True and long-lasting love finds its way into your life. Follow your heart with caring actions and choices. So this card too, yes, it can be about the true and long-lasting love it was talking about, and I hope that that's what it is for, all it can be, the majority of you. But for some, it is connected to a decision that has to be made, and it's a heart versus head decision. So again, you have to draw upon all that you have available to you in making the decision, because your heart and your head are like fighting, It's like my mind's telling me no, my body's telling me yeah, that sort of thing. Clarifying the masculine's 5 of Cups, it is more Air or swords energy, the king of air now. Brilliant, impartial, professional, and diplomatic. Also, of course, like the knight and the queen, with whom he now forms like a cute little triangle. He is a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. Just as I mentioned in the beginning of the reading, right, before we did any cards, speak your mind with confidence, right? Say what you mean what you say. Seek out professional advice if you need to, and balance mental and emotional considerations. Remember the balance, I said it could be about inner balance, the Temperance card, the Sagittarius energy we saw before. Clarifying major arcana card 15, ego or the devil for the masculine. It is the Queen of Wands. So this is our second one of her too. She again is confident, warm, intelligent, and graceful. Stretch your wings and fly. Don't underestimate yourself. Assert your independence and creativity, meaning you can, sort of master this. You can topple this. You don't have to give in to fear or, obsess about money and the material. You are, on fire, and there's opportunity available to you. And where there's not, you can make some, right? You can manifest your own things with all this Gemini energy, like the magician, and bring about what you need. Clarifying the feminine's sun, although we already have the sun now mirroring the Queen of Wands. So I'm sure that's a connection there, but atop that is another two. The two of water, or cups. A relationship that continues to grow closer. Forgiveness and the positive resolution of a conflict. Surrounding the feminine, atop the Queen of Swords, is the Knight of Earth, Knight of Pentacles. He is loyal, dedicated, honorable, and kind. Look at all these characters we have today. Time to buckle down and get things done. Honor your commitments. You have a guardian angel. If you've been avoiding decision, procrastinating, you at least got to make a plan. Even if you've been sort of stuck, what am I going to do about this situation? I need to think first. It's not the time to take action. I need to think. I need to figure it out. Knight of Earth or Pentacles still says make a plan. And then, so that you can, even if you got to change the plan, write something down or get something concrete out. And then hopefully you'll be able to follow through that again and change as needed accordingly. Atop the 10 of Air or Swords, clarifying that is the 7 of Fire or Wands, which is about decisions that have to be made. Again, defend your beliefs and decisions once you make them. Stand your ground. Choose your battles wisely. Things are going to get easier because you're making a decision and you're not going to let anybody push you around about it. Maybe with regard to a relationship, very possibly a romantic relationship, having seen the Queen of Cups twice in addition to the 2 of Cups and the Lovers. Atop the Knight of Air or Swords, it's another 5. The 5 of Earth or Pentacles. This is all about lack too. Fears surrounding money, as we discussed already. The wisdom to accept help from others, though. There's the wisdom is coming from here. And uncertain self-employment, I can imagine. 5 of Pentacles also has other meanings for me, like as it relates to relationships, for example. It can be about fear of commitment, fear of abandonment, mommy issues, as they say, daddy issues, fear of commitment, fear of rejection, fear sometimes of the future, we don't know what's to come, fear of change. Sometimes there's fear of success, all kinds of things. So it doesn't have to actually be that you're lacking money or that you're worried about lack. There's so many things that can be tied into this that may be affecting your decisions or be about what your decision is. At the root of foundation, clarifying the Page of Fire or Wands, is another 5. The 5 of Air, 5 of Swords. So we have the 5 of Cups, the 5 of Pentacles, and now the 5 of Swords. An unwise choice, maybe a poor decision, right? Choice, decision. Learn what you can from this situation. Review everyone's motives. Like if somebody's tried to, again, steer you the wrong way, or to get you to change your mind when you shouldn't. Perhaps if you listen to them, that'll be an unwise choice. The 5 of Swords, all these 5s, they're low enough, on the totem pole, so to speak, that we can avoid them. They're not major arcana cards. We don't have to necessarily deal or even be affected, like have that energy come to us, depending upon what we do. At the heart of the matter, atop the High Priestess, is Major Arcana card 17, the Star, which represents the sign of Aquarius. Happy times. Make positive, optimistic, long-term plans. You are on the right path. What path is that? The brand new one that you never walked before. From, again, the Ascended Masters deck, beginning with Listen. From the Keepers of the Light Oracle, remember, with Commander Ashtar. And I'm thinking we're probably going to go over what I had planned to make this reading anyway. Take my chances. I might as well. What I was going to do was to give each element their own specific card. So earth, fire, air, water. That's the order in which they appear on the actual zodiac. I'm sorry, fire, earth, air, water, beginning with the sign of Aries, the first sign of the zodiac. So we'll do that. So I remind everyone that we were beginning with the Six of Swords. That may have additional meaning, being a 6, after I talked about the 666. And so Aries, your card is the Eight of Swords in reverse. So this is a pretty good card because it means that you are ready to start planning, like the Knight of Earth suggests that we do. You're ready to start planning and to move forward, and you realize that every single aspect of what may happen in our life, like we should be prepared for everything, but we can't actually plan for everything. We can't actually plan so being prepared for everything is like the Queen of Swords energy, like just having faith and knowing everything that I've been through in my life has prepared me for this moment. And maybe that's all I can do. That's the most prepared I can be, aside from whatever plan I can draw up for any information of which I am aware, for any knowledge I do have. But I'm not going to know everything. And it's just, we just got to accept the fact that, you know, we just can't plan for everything. We can't be prepared for everything. Some stuff is just going to be life, right? It's just going to be adulting, and we can move on. But you're ready to get out of that feeling of being stuck. So you're ready to change from the Devil to the Queen of Fire or Wands, right? And to be stuck, which is your energy. The Queen of Fire is. I'll just put it there. Earth, Capricorn. Thought about you guys first because the Devil's there. It represents your sign. Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. Your card is Major Arcana card, the Moon. Speaking of not knowing everything, I'm sure it ties into, the Aries card also. Like I said, we're not going to be aware of everything that's ahead. We can't plan for everything, but we can do our best, right? And that's what the Moon says too. You're not going to know everything. There's stuff that is hidden. There's stuff that maybe on this plane somebody kept from you. Maybe just because they didn't think you needed to know, it just never came up. Perhaps maliciously, they purposely didn't tell you something, or there's some sort of secret or something. All of these are possible. Major Arcana card, the Moon, most directly in the Tower, represents the sign of Pisces. However, this particular deck, this card, it always gives me Scorpio vibes with this lobster here. And of course, the actual moon, Earth's moon, rules the sign of Cancer. So maybe in that order, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. But it could be it doesn't even have to be a water sign. It just could be. In any case, this card, like so many that we've seen, the High Priestess and the Listen card that was giving me those vibes and things, is about the Commander Ashtar. This is about listening, again, to your gut, to your instincts, to your psychic awareness, your intuition, especially in those moments where you're not sure who or what to trust. Again, don't walk around paranoid, but like, when in doubt, trust your gut. Go with your gut. If you're waiting for an answer for somebody. So maybe with regard to money, maybe with regard to a job, with the Five of Pentacles clarifying the Knight of Swords. Maybe it does have financial connotations, the decision that we are needing to make or that we're awaiting. So earth signs, that's your energy too, that's your element there, the earth, the pentacles. If you are awaiting a decision, know that it may take longer than originally expected. Or if you're awaiting something, maybe money. So it could be, again, stimulus check, your paycheck, some sort of bonus or something that you were due, something that somebody owed you. Maybe they don't have it now because of what's going on. They lost their job, or their unemployment hasn't started yet, or your unemployment hasn't started yet. So your money's coming, but not yet. Like there's a delay with something. Just try to be patient as best as you can. Air signs, my fellow Geminis, my fellow Aquarians, and Libras too. Our card is the Six of Cups. Those of you who've never seen me before, I said my fellow Geminis and Aquarians because I'm a Gemini sun and an Aquarius moon, and a lot more other placements too, including the Mars and Aquarius placement that started last week. That's one of my natal placements. Anyway, Six of Cups, all about nostalgia, remembering the past. It does encourage us though, to like think of these things as pleasant, fond memories, and then forget it. Not forget it in terms of lose your memory of the good things that happen in your life, but like move on. Like don't get stuck. Don't get stuck in the past or focus on the past or on relationships of the past and that person from the past. Like don't get stuck. Always be moving forward, in your mind's eye and stuff like that. And in your life in general, for real, always be moving forward, because we can create self-fulfilling prophecies, right? By staying like stuck in the past, like things won't change. So, or we say things like, all my good years are gone. All the years that I was, in popular demand at work, where I could have gotten a job, all those years where I was pretty, all those years where I was handsome, where I was this, where I was that, and it's gone, then that can create potentially a self-fulfilling prophecy where it need not be true at any age or size or job or, whatever experience level. It need not be true. There's always, as long as you're alive, there's room for growth and improvement and moving forward, right? Also, this is considered a soulmate card in the tarot, at least by me. And so it can be about that. It can be about, getting into contact with people from your past and or receiving contact from them. Somebody coming back into your life. Can also be about family situations like these. The Six of Cups always reminds me of siblings and stuff too. Maybe some of us seeing some long lost siblings, or learning that we have long lost siblings, or remembering our childhood. And maybe we're far apart from our siblings now. We're separated from our family, and so we're just remembering when times were good and times were happy, and maybe now we're not so happy. Maybe now we're sad or whatever. It's still a positive card though, even though it's looking on the past and you might be going through something now in connection to it. It's still a very positive card and a happy card. Particularly upright. Water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. And look, it's going to be sitting right underneath the moon. Isn't that cute? Right? This is your energy too. Wow, Knight of Cups. So this is a fabulous card. It's about good news. You could be hearing something that makes you feel happy, like good news, very near future, quite possibly, involving love, emotion, matters of the heart, as they say. Maybe there's a decision in that regard that has to be made. And so that's what you're going to be hearing. Knight of Cups also for me can be about somebody returning to your life. Very possibly for the romantic, side of things, but it can be somebody else returning to your life, an old friend, again, a family member, long lost sibling or something. Glad to meet you. There could definitely be a connection between this water and air. I've been seeing this for probably like 2 months now. A lot of water and air and fire and earth together, combinations. So maybe an air sign is returning to the life of a water sign or vice versa. There could definitely be some water on water stuff, maybe particularly involving a Pisces. Further to all of this, our advice says, first to the masculine from the Keepers of the Light Oracle, White Eagle, Ancestor Spirit. Didn't I talk about Native Americans? Oh yeah, the rainbow prophecies I mentioned. And of course, Manhattan was purchased from the Native Americans, from the Indians, by Peter Minuet. So maybe that's why they're showing up here. Also, Ancestor Spirit could definitely be tied into maybe, again, particularly air signs, connecting with, you know, you're meeting your father or your mother or your siblings or all of the above or something for the first time, or somehow connecting with that and with your ancestry, your family tree or something. Connect to your lineage. A family wound or pattern can be healed now. Something's getting resolved. Maybe because of what's going on, people are willing to forget it. People are willing to let go of old things they had been holding on to and saying like, why aren't we talking? And fixing that. From for the feminine, rather, from the Keepers of the Light Oracle. Charity, prayer, and contemplation. So this is tied into your manifestation and your blessings in general. Connect with heaven. Ask and you shall receive. From the Ascended Masters deck to the masculine. Priorities, says King Solomon. Or like, you know, what do I need to do first? Could be part of your planning. For the feminine, it is persistence. Very, not only 7 of Wands, but 9 of Wands, right? You make a decision, you stand in your ground, you hold, and then you don't let anybody push you around. And even if it seems like they're trying to get you and you're feeling weary of having to defend yourself or your situations or your decisions and stuff, just not giving in and not giving up. Like knowing that, especially with our overall energy having been the 10 of Wands, 9 of Wands energy coming through very strong with this, knowing that you're almost at the end. You're almost to that 10 of Wands. So you can make it. You can do it and persevere. From the Angel Tarot to the masculine, it is another page of water, a page of cups. Intuitive, sensitive, artistic, and friendly. A new person enters your life. A relationship begins a new phase. And there are heightened psychic abilities. So absolutely, again, yes, heightened psychic awareness this week and abilities. And trusting those messages, even if you're not sure from where they're coming, you're just receiving them. You're not understanding how or why you're receiving them. Trust your instincts and your messages. Page of water, a Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio, or someone likened to those traits or attributes, could just be good news again. So maybe even if it's about a job or money or something, it doesn't have to be romance, love and romance, but very well could be contact from somebody again that puts a smile on your face. And wow, feminine, the 3 of air, 3 of swords, great sadness. Take time to heal. There's a need to forgive yourself and others. Well, I think I had said here, there could be something about being sad. And this is the air or swords pile, a group. And this is the element of air too, right? The 3 of swords. But I'm going to pull the next upright card. That's what I like to do. That's how I like to clarify my cards. So this is, I'm just showing you that they're upright in this position. I turn them around this way. The next upright card is this. It's right here. And it is the 9 of Earth or Pentacles. Enjoying life's little luxuries, spending quiet time alone and successful self-employment. So again, this 3 of air could be about worry about money or the material or lack, or again, loss of job or something that may have happened to you, loss of income, and you know, waiting for it. It's like slow and steady. When's the race is ever going to get here? And the answer is like you'll make it through that period and everything's going to be just fine. Hope you guys have enjoyed the general reading. I will be back with the love reading. Also, I had posted 6 signs the other day, astrological readings. I was moved to give each sign their own Libra full moon reading. And then literally I was moved to just stop. After the 6, I was going to try to knock out all 12 that time when I was doing it. Just stop. Like, you know, I was running out of like energy. And I was never guided to come back to, like I was and I wasn't. I was guided to prioritize. So I had some people, for example, that needed healing. I was guided to put them ahead of that. I had readings to do. I still have some readings that are on order. For people who want the video readings, I've done phone readings, but I got to do these video readings too. Get those done. A lot of energy healing and healing in general. People worried about what's going on with this disease. Some of my clients or some of my viewers and supporters and stuff are aware that I've had success, not only with somebody who was likely suffering from COVID in the hospital, but dengue, which is a malaria-like / COVID-like type of thing, very, very high fevers, death often imminent. I was able to help a whole family with those. Like none of them perished, even though like 4 members had it. So I've just been asked, for a lot of that type of stuff. My own father's much younger girlfriend lost her mother to COVID. I hadn't even been aware that she had been sick. Of course, I would have done what I could there if maybe I wasn't meant to do anything. So that's a nice segue. I just felt like at that time I wasn't meant to move forward with the readings, but at the same time, the astrological readings, at the same time, I was guided still to do them. So I just felt, well, maybe some were supposed to have it like before Easter, because I was very tied into that. With the fact that I was doing the readings on like Holy Thursday / Passover, I felt was far more significant than the moon itself, was that what else was going on in relation to it. And so maybe for the remaining 6 signs, my own included, I didn't even do Gemini, it's about, the resurrection. So that was prior, and there were a lot of things popping up about Judas's in the midst of those for whom I read. And so maybe now for the other 6, there's a different overall theme or message. We'll see. Long story short, I still plan to do them. If you're not yet a subscriber, please do consider subscribing and hitting both the subscribe button and the bell button so that we can hope and pray that you get your notifications when I put up a new video. If you enjoyed the video and or you felt like you got something out of it, you learned something, please do hit the thumbs up button in support. And if you don't mind sharing the video, please do. I appreciate it. And, any and all support is I thank you for. And I'll be back with the love reading. Namaste.